Hello, and welcome back. This is Borahda here. I hope you were able to see things from both perspectives in our last video. It is essential that, as we look at each approach, you are able to analyze each argument and then make educated decisions about what you want your language classroom to look like. In this video, we want to take a look at some of the techniques that have their foundation in the grammar translation approach, and that may, believe it or not, prove useful in today's context. There are several techniques that we might say were originally derived, or at least in constant use, by those using the grammar translation approach. Did you notice any? To be honest, most teachers nowadays don't generally use back translation. That was the technique that our dear old professor mentioned briefly. In back translation, a learner is asked to take a text in an original language, turn it into their native language, and then turn it back into the original language. This was supposed to help learners precisely understand language forms and vocabulary. The idea was that every word in one language has a proper substitute in another. This idea that every word or phrase has a precise translation has been challenged in later research, and for most language researchers, myself included, that simply isn't true. Reading comprehension questions. But now let's talk about some of the techniques that we do still use. One of the common activities in a grammar translation classroom is the use of reading comprehension questions and a whole variety of comprehension question types. The idea is that a well-worded question can help a teacher know if students really understand the meaning of a vocabulary word, a sentence, a paragraph, or an entire story. Comprehension questions can engage students in understanding tone, plot, characterization, and setting. Comprehension questions can also move students beyond what is understood, can lead students to apply questions to real-life situations. So there is no doubt that comprehension questions are an essential technique you can put in your teacher toolbox. Use of antonyms and synonyms. Use of cognates. Another technique is to look for vocabulary that is similar to the learner's native language. This is often referred to as cognates. Finding cognates has a way of lessening the burden of understanding some words and giving students information for which they are already familiar. Many teachers today rely on cognates, especially teachers who are teaching students with similar language backgrounds. In a classroom in which you find speakers from many different language backgrounds, it's preferable not to use cognates. Fill in the blanks and writing compositions. Grammar translation teachers also used other activities that you will see in today's world, such as fill in the blank activities, which I am guessing everyone has had an experience with, and also writing compositions, especially as forms of summative assessment. I definitely do that too, and in this program you are using that too. All in all, I guess is that you may not see grammar translation as a perfect fit for your teaching style, but please keep in mind that this doesn't mean that there aren't important takeaways and some activities, some techniques that you can use in your classroom today. Thanks very much for listening, and see you in the next video.